A very good morning to all of you. As I told you that we will start with Python, but before starting a programming language, we should know why we need a programming language. Okay, so today we will see why we need a programming language. As we all know that computers are all around us, so we use them for doing various tasks in a faster or more accurate manner. Using a computer or a smartphone, you can book train tickets online, you can attend your lectures online, okay, and lot of things you can do via computers. Fine. So computer science is an abstraction creating the right model for a problem and designing the appropriate mechanism techniques to solve it. As you see that one example is given your book about the railway reservation, how you will do railway, how you reserve your rail or book tickets for a railway online. Okay, that is all done by the computer. Those are connected with the internet. So it is only due to the use of computer that today the booking of the train tickets has become very easy. Online booking of train tickets has added to our comfort by enabling us to book tickets from anywhere or anytime. So whatever you are doing, whenever you are dealing with computer or internet, just because of the programming. Okay, so that's why we need a computer. You give step by step instruction to solve your problem, and that step by step instruction to solve a problem, you create for that a program, and the combination of programs create a software. And that software, we can say one example I gave you, railway reservation is a kind of software that is done by the programming. And for doing program you need a language, that is programming language. Fine. So how you solve a problem? If you have any problem, it's not oh, I have to create a railway reservation software, so you will start. No, for that you have to design your task, that I have to first analyze the problem, that in this problem what I have to do, what work I have to do, then developing an algorithm, that's uh, I have to do this thing, then this. Okay, if I tell you that you have to make a tea, a cup of tea, so what you will do? First, you analyze the problem, that a cup of tea, I want this, and that thing. Okay, I want water, milk, sugar, and tea. Fine. You analyze, you collect all the data, then you start the developing an algorithm, that first I have to take water, I have to switch on the gas stove, then I have to put water in a container, then tea, then sugar, then milk, like this. You have to develop an algorithm. For after developing an algorithm, you have to do coding, and when your tea get completed, you have to test it also, that it is good or not before giving to someone else. Okay, so I give you one example, that is tea, that is very daily life example, very easy, so you can understand with that. So for step, for problem solving, you just first you have to do analyze. This step for problem solving, this diagram is giving. So analyze, first analyze the problem, what problems, that you get clearly understand a problem before we begin. If I tell you that start make a tea, but you don't know how to make a tea, you don't know for tea I want a water, milk, sugar, or tea. Okay, so first analyze the problem. If you analyze the problem, you know that this thing I want, uh, and this thing. Fine. We are not clear as to do what is to be solved. We may end up developing a program which may not solve our purpose. Thus, we need to read and analyze problem statement carefully in order to list and principal components of the problem. Second is you're developing an algorithm. What is algorithm? A set of exact steps which, when followed, solve the problem or accomplish the required task. So basically, exact steps. That number one step is that you have to switch on the gas stove. After the second step, put a water in the container, then put sugar, tea, and after that milk. These are the exact step of making tea. Similarly, for any if you want to develop any program or a software, you need exact steps. Okay, the solution is represented in natural language and is called an algorithm. Third one is your coding. After finalizing the algorithm, we need to convert algorithm in a format which can be understood by computer, because algorithm is only understood by you, not by the computer. For computer, you will write a program in high level language, and computer will compiler, your converter, your translator will convert the your high level language into machine language. Fine. So it is equally important to record the details of coding procedure followed by document the solution. Next is your testing or debugging. Okay, you analyze the problem, you develop an algorithm, you coded the program according to you that your program is being prepared, but before handing over to the customer, you have to test that program that it fulfill the requirement of customer or not. Okay, in test, is there any bug or error? If you find bug, that remove that bug and then hand over to the customer. Suppose if we say that we have to prepare railway reservation system. Okay, you prepare, very fine. If you not test and you hand over it to the customer, and their customer will get a problem that I told you that this thing would happen, but this is not happening, then that will be not a good sign for a good programmer. So before handing over to the customer, testing and debugging is must. Okay. Once the software application has been developed, tested and delivered to the user, still problem in terms of function can come up and need to be resolved from time to time. So the maintenance of the solution thus involves fixing the problem faced by user, answering the queries of the user, and even serving the request for addition or modification of features. Now, algorithm. What is algorithm? in our daily in our day-to-day life, we perform activities by following certain sequence of steps that you have to get up early in the morning. After that, you have to do some yoga, and after that you will take bath, then have a breakfast, then go to school or attend the lectures. Okay, these are the some sequence of step of our daily life. Fine. So if you not create any algorithm, then your life get jumbled. So suppose we follow the steps required for activity riding a bicycle. So this is all about the algorithm. If your steps are not in the sequence, then you can't say that riding bicycle is in a proper way. If someone don't know how to ride a bicycle and your step is jumbled, then he will never learn a bicycle. Okay, these steps are, you see, these all steps are in jumbled form. Fine. See, first what you have to do, if we said start paddling. First, instead of this step, we said start paddling, then stop on reaching the destination, then sit on the seat of the bicycle. If we get jumbled with these steps, then no one will learn a bicycle, riding a bicycle. See here. Next example. Now find GCD of two numbers, that is 45 and 46. So there is for finding the GCD, you have to divide both the given numbers. The first step for that is find the numbers which can divide the given number. Second, then find the largest common number from these two lists. Okay, so algorithm is basically a sequence of steps, and the origin of the term algorithm is traced to Persian astronomer and mathematician Abu Abdullah Muhammad Ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi as the Latin translation of al-Khwarizmi. Okay, so from there you will get algorithm word. Now, why we need algorithm? It's very clear that for creating a task in a proper way, we need a algorithm. Characteristic of good algorithm. First one is precision. The steps are precisely stated or defined. For if you want to create a good algorithm, first that it should be precise. Okay, it have uniquely defined, and the algorithm always stop after a finite number of steps. Input, the algorithm receive some input, and output, the algorithm produce some output. See here, if I say that you have to ride a bicycle, first you have to precise all the steps, and after precising define all the steps in a proper manner. Then finiteness, there should be some step, it will not go infinite. Okay, so these number of steps from where you start, that is your input. After following the number of steps of algorithm, you will get an output. While writing an algorithm, it is required to clearly identify the following: the input to be taken from the user, fine. The processing or computation to be performed to get desired result, the output desired by the result. Representation. How? See, how will you represent any algorithm? You can represent algorithm by flow chart. And flow chart is a visual representation of an algorithm, or you can say it is a diagram made up of boxes, diamond, other shapes connected by arrows. Each shape represent a set step of solution process and allow represent the order or a link among the step. Here, this step will show that you have to start and end. So basically this step is known as terminator. This is for process, that, and also for action symbol. It represents process or action or a single step. This is for decision. You have to go either in that direction or in that, yes or no, true or false. Input, if you want to give any input or output, this will use an arrow, will use to as a connector to show order of flow between shapes. Fine. Here we will take one example. We will create an algorithm for to find a square of a number. Okay. So how you will start? You will start from here. You will input a number. Then after that you will start processing. You will put the formula. Okay. And then print a square, stop. From here it shows that input is started, and here you get stop. Okay, next is draw a flow chart to solve the problem of non-functioning light bulb. See, as I told you, machine language is always work on two things: true, false, on, off, 0, 1. Fine. If it is an electronic item, then there will be on or off, two situation will be there. You will start now. Here you have to take decision: is the bulb switched on? If yes, it is burned out. If no, switch on the bulb. Okay, now next, after switch on, bulb on. Now again you have two situation, that bulb is on. If bulb is on, okay, stop the work and if bulb is not on, then it will again say is it burned out. Okay, it will come here. If bulb is it burned, it will go to this. Okay, switch on the bulb. Now this decision again come, is it burn out? If bulb is burned out, then call the electrician, otherwise replace the bulb. Okay, so here you will get all except input. You see input is coming here. You will get start and stop, decision box, process box, all the things you will get in this flowchart. Next is your pseudocode. What is pseudocode? Is another way of representing algorithm. Okay, it is considered as a non-formal language that helps to programmers to write an algorithm. It is detailed description of instruction that a computer must follow in a particular order. We will see here how we can do input. Fine, it will also go the control of flow of pseudocode will also go in a manner as the flowchart. Only here you will not get the symbols, only statement. You will in pseudocode you have to write the statement only. Input, that means you have to input something. Compute, it will calculate. Print, you have to print the output. If two situation will there, increment and decrement. If else, while, true, false. Fine. Here these are the keywords of pseudocode. Write an algorithm to display sum of two numbers entered by the user using both pseudocode and flowchart. Flowchart we know. So we have to add two numbers. So input number 1, input number 2. Now you have to compute. So you will use compute keyword. Compute result equals to num1 plus num2 and print the result. And similarly this is flowchart. So here you will get the how to represent any algorithm. There are the two ways to represent an algorithm, pseudocode and flowchart. Fine. Now you will do these examples yourself. Flow of control. The flow of control depicts the flow of event as represented in the flow of chart. That your sequence, your selection, that in this direction you have to go and this way you have to go. First you have to take this step, then this. That is your flow of control. Okay. Now we will see some one or two examples. Here, write pseudocode and draw flowchart to accept 5 numbers and find their average. So you have to write a pseudocode and flowchart. You have to do both the things to accept 5 numbers and find their average. See first how pseudocode will work. Set count is equals to 0 and sum is equals to, because in starting your count will be 0 and sum is also 0. While count is, you will start with loop, that is while loop. While count is less than, the while loop will go. If count is more than 5, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so till the time count is less than the 5, repeat step 3, 4 and 5. What are these? Input a number, fine. Then sum equals to sum plus num. Count is equals to, every time count will get incremented. When your count become equals to 5 or more than 5, then it will compute the average of sum divided by 5 and it will print the average. Same manner you have to draw the flowchart. The question can come, write a pseudocode or draw a flowchart. Fine. Other question you will do yourself. Now comparison of algorithm. There can be more than one approach to solve a problem. Fine. As we can take riding a bicycle. So one person can ride in a different way, another person can ride different way. If they are thinking differently, their algorithm should be different. So to solve any problem, there will be a lot of way to solve any problem. Here we will take an example. There can be four different ways to write algorithm to check whether a given number is prime or not. First, starting with divisor 2. Then, instead of testing all the number till the dividend, all test up to the half of the given value. And these all are the methods how to. So basically the thing is that for any algorithm you have a different ways to write a algorithm to solve a problem. Okay. Then coding we will, now when we learn Python we will go through the coding. Once algorithm is finalized, it should be coding into a high level programming language as selected by the programmer. Now here it says the high level programming, it can be C, C++, Java, Python, but in most levels Python is there, so we will study Python. What is syntax? Syntax is the set of rules or a grammar that governs the formulation of a statement in a language, such as a spelling, order of words and punctuation, etc. The machine or the low level language consists 0 and 1 only, is the ideal way to write computer program. Program written using binary digits are directly understood by the computer hardware, but they are difficult to deal with, comprehend by humans. We can write any program in binary machine language, but it will consume lot of time because we have to convert each word into binary language. Okay, and it is quite difficult for to remember that program also. So we give this work to the translator that we will write in a high language and you convert it into a binary language. Decomposition. Sometimes what happen, a problem is get very complex, so we are not getting the idea how to solve this problem. Okay, and we are not able to directly drive that problem. In such cases, we need to decompose it into similar parts. Suppose we took an example of railway reservation. Railway reservation itself a very huge project. So what we will do? We will decompose that project into modules, and um, we will distribute it into a four or among four or a five person, that you have to complete this module, the another person will complete another module. Fine, and then at the last we will combine that from modules and our project will get created. Fine. Now, so today we have done with the algorithm problem solving chapter. From tomorrow we will start with Python. So you getting the idea why we need a programming language. Okay, and how to start any project, any program. So mainly four steps are there: analyze, then create an algorithm, coding and testing. You have to only follow these four steps. After following these steps, you will be a good software, good programmer. Okay, so have a good day.